Hello fellow entrepreneurs, welcome to my channel where I read and summarize books relating to being a better entrepreneur. I've met no one who I thought was wise who didn't read. I believe reading is essential for those who seek to rise above the ordinary. So today, we will be learning from Cal Newport's book, Deep Work. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. Cal Newport, an MIT alumnus and Georgetown professor, has written an excellent book that is a must-read for anyone who wants to focus on the important things in life by reducing firefighting, attending meetings, always checking emails and notifications, and of course internet browsing and social media. This has significantly improved my ability to focus and complete tasks for my business and personal life. I hope it does the same for you. According to Cal Newport, there are two types of work. Shallow work that only requires a small amount of your time and attention, such as answering the phone or sending emails, and deep work, which occurs when you lock yourself in a room for more than 5 hours and focus on one thing completely, free of distractions. Bill Gates' Think Weeks, in which he would isolate himself and do nothing but read and ponder big ideas, are a well-known example of deep work. Another example is a writer who can either isolate herself to write a book that will impact thousands of people and stand the test of time, or she can split her focus into slivers and get busy answering emails or engaging on social media, contributing no long-term or high-value work of any kind. This video is broken down into 8 parts. Part 1. Deep work versus shallow work. Part 2. 4 strategies for deep work. Part 3. Build a deep work routine. Part 4. Embrace boredom. Part 5. Quit social media. Part 6. Work collaboratively with others. Part 7. Prioritize downtime. Part 8. Make focus your default mode. Part 1. Deep work versus shallow work. Deep work consists of professional activities carried out in a state of distraction-free concentration that tests your cognitive abilities. These efforts add value to your life, improve your skills, and are difficult to duplicate. Deep work entails focusing intensely on important tasks for long periods of time on a daily or weekly basis. Deep work is becoming increasingly rare, valuable, crucial, life-changing, therapeutic, relaxing, satisfying, and necessary for achieving excellence in your field. Shallow work consists of non-cognitive, logistical tasks that are frequently completed while distracted. These efforts are easy to replicate and don't add much new value to the world. In today's fractured, winner-takes-all world, Cal Newport explains why deep work is so valuable, rare, and meaningful. He convincingly argues that our attention is frequently so fragmented that we do very little truly deep work in a typical day. Perhaps more concerning is his claim that months and years of exposure to shallow work and distraction have a long-term negative impact on our ability to focus our attention that is difficult to reverse. This section's extensive evidence base draws heavily on examples set by influential thinkers and doers throughout history, from Carl Jung and Nate Silver to Bill Gates. Part 2. 4 strategies for deep work. Cal Newport understands that different things will work for different people, so he proposes 4 different approaches when advocating for deep work. 1. The monastic approach. The word monastic comes from the word monastery, which refers to a place where monks live. It entails completely shutting yourself off, such as moving to a cabin in the woods to write a novel and not returning until it's finished. 2. The bimodal approach. This places a premium on in-depth work over all else. You could, for example, lock yourself in your office for a 4 to 6 hour block each day for deep work, similar to the monastic approach. However, once that block is completed, you are free to complete whatever else is on your to-do list. 3. The rhythmic approach. This method divides your work into time blocks, similar to the Pomodoro technique, and keeps track of your progress using a calendar. For example, you might plan your week ahead of time and schedule 10 90-minute blocks on your calendar, and then make it a habit to work within timed blocks. 4. The journalistic approach. This works well if you have a busy daily routine. What you do is simply devote any unplanned spare time to deep work. In a world full of distractions, it's difficult to work deeply, especially with a pull of email and other messaging in a culture where people expect instant results. Newport recommends that you start by determining your deep work, philosophy, and scheduling deep work time. Deep work, in my opinion, can be done monastically by shutting yourself out mentally or physically for several days or weeks at a time, or rhythmically by setting aside entire days or time each day to work deeply. Regardless of your working style, the goal is to find and schedule time to disconnect, as well as to establish rules and rituals that allow you to work more deeply and improve your concentration. Choose the deep work philosophy that is most appropriate for your work and life. Starting out, try different methods before setting on one that works for you. Part 3. Build a deep work routine. In order to succeed with the deep work habit, you must practice intention with your time and consider when you will fit in periods of focus. When creating a deep work ritual, keep the following points in mind. 1. Location. Choose a location that is free of distractions and conducive to long periods of concentration. If you don't have access to such a space, use noise-canceling headphones to block out the outside world while you work and signal to your brain that it's time to concentrate. Try to keep your surroundings consistent. Familiarity will help you get into deep work mode faster. 2. Duration. Determine how much time you'll devote to the task at hand before beginning a deep work session. Begin with short sessions of 15 minutes and work your way up to longer ones. As you flex your deep work muscles, your ability to focus will improve. 3. Structure. Establish a structure for yourself and define what deep work mode entails. Will your phone, for example, be turned off or on? Will you allow yourself to look up information on the internet? Is it possible for you to walk to the kitchen and get a snack? How will you assess a session's success? That is, by pages read, lines coded, words written? Whatever your ground rules are, make them explicit and stick to them throughout your deep work session. 4. Requirements. You'll learn what you need to support your commitment to deep work after a few sessions of focused work. This could include listening to music, getting a favorite snack, or internet access for a short period of time. Before diving in, make sure you have everything you need. A deep work ritual's goal is to eliminate distractions and signal to yourself that it's time to concentrate. You're attempting to create conditions that tell your brain it's time to stop bouncing from task to task and focus on one thing. Using the 4 points mentioned can help you build your own deep work routine. Part 4. Embrace boredom. Our first reaction after concentrating deeply is to break it up with a distraction. Newport contends that rather than engaging in distracting activities, we should take breaks from focusing and rest our brains. Our brains aren't wired to be bored anymore, which is why we default to distractions like checking email or other messaging systems. However, our brains require rest, and turning off completely rather than working on non-essential tasks allow us to focus better during concentration periods. Constantly switching from focus to distraction or from distraction to distraction appears to improve our ability to multitask or switch our attention between multiple priorities. We may justify this by feeling more productive, but it erodes our ability to focus deeply over time. Many of us, for example, are guilty of constantly checking our email. We'd be better off checking email only once in a while rather than constantly refreshing the page in the hopes of finding a new message. This not only cuts down on the amount of time you spend checking emails, but it also improves your concentration. Distraction addiction, like many other addictions, is usually caused by something other rather than a habitual or chemical craving. You can move on to real work once you've learned to avoid constant distraction and trained yourself to focus deeply. In today's information economy, bouncing between your inbox, pointless meetings, and group chat notifications is no way to get ahead. These are indicators of busyness rather than productivity. They won't help you improve your writing skills, learn a programming language, or expand your company. In fact, none of these activities will help you achieve any of the lofty goals you've set for yourself. Instead, giving into these attention traps will lead you away from excellence and towards mediocrity. To be truly exceptional at what you do and to be recognized for it, you'll need to take a completely different approach. Another advantage of boredom that I've discovered in my life is that it forces you to learn to be alone with your thoughts, which can be frightening at times. Many of the distraction machines on the market are designed to help us forget about the things that are bothering us. However, we can begin to grow as people when we reject the quick fix of distraction and instead learn to be at home with ourselves. Part 5. Quit social media. Cal Newport dislikes social media because it is yet another source of distraction that distorts our time. You must resist the temptation of distractions that try to steal your time and attention in order to master your ability to work deeply. He recognizes that for many people, completely disconnecting from social media is unrealistic, so he recommends beginning by checking social media less frequently. Checking your Facebook or Instagram once a week, for example, will keep you up to date on what your friends are up to while avoiding the mindless hours spent scrolling through social media feeds the other 6 days. He also recommends balancing the benefits of social networking with the benefits of what you could be doing with the time you spend on them, and limiting the number of social media sites you use. While conditioning our minds to prioritize focus is beneficial, removing all distractions can be even more effective in developing a deep work practice. While some of the networking tools we use are obvious distractions, many others fall somewhere in the middle. They take time away from our high-value activities, but they can be extremely beneficial. For example, if we're not careful, scrolling through Twitter can become wasteful and last for hours. It can, however, be an effective tool for raising awareness of our work, connecting you with interesting people, and exposing us to new ideas. Part 6. Work collaboratively with others. Working alone is often a result of prioritizing deep work. Working with others, on the other hand, can unleash the power of serendipitous creativity, which we can't always generate on our own. Fortunately, adopting a deep work practice does not stop us from reaping the benefits of collaboration. Time spent learning from others can be explored in greater depth once we're alone in deep work mode. The mistake is in attempting to combine the two, which is frequently used to justify no-cubicle offices. You can also engage in collaborative deep work, in which you work on a problem with another person, pushing each other to achieve great results. While time for solo deep work is important and should be prioritized by employers, collaboration is a powerful tool that should be used on a regular basis. Part 7. Prioritize downtime. The deep work method isn't just about work, it's also about what you do after you've finished your workday. Working long hours without taking breaks can be harmful to a deep work practice, according to Newport. Regularly resting your brain improves the quality of your deep work. Downtime helps us think better. Have you ever hit a snag at work, cried yourself to sleep that night, only to return the next day with a perfectly formed solution? The pause has this kind of power. Allowing your mind to rest allows you to think more clearly about complex problems than if you were running on empty. Allowing your conscious brain to rest allows your unconscious mind to take a shift sorting through your most complex professional challenges, writes Newport. In fact, they say that you have your best ideas in the shower because showers are a safe place that provides a dopamine high, relaxed state, and distracted mind, and factors are ideal for creativity and idea formation. Dopamine, critical to creativity, is released when we're relaxed, feeling great, listening to music, exercising, and yes, even while taking a shower. So, our ability to practice deep work is restored by downtime. Deep work argues that if you take a break from this activity, you can regain your ability to direct your attention. Don't pay attention to high-priority tasks after work. Instead, engage in activities that give your mind uninterrupted rest, such as gathering with friends or family, cooking, or going for a walk in the woods. On the other hand, sneaking in extra emails or group chat conversations prevents true rest. Our deep work capacity is limited. Unfortunately, as beneficial as deep work is, it cannot be done indefinitely. The maximum amount of deep work per day, according to Newport, is just 4 hours. Our ability to direct focused attention beyond this point deteriorates. As a result, you'll have plenty of time in the evening to prepare for the downtime that will benefit your deep work sessions the next day. Part 8. Make focus your default mode. Deep work is harmed by distractions. They're present in your Twitter timeline, Instagram feed, Slack notifications, and email inbox. Unfortunately, you can start the day with good intentions, a long to-do list, and a strategy for getting everything done. However, the hours pass you by and you fail to accomplish anything worthwhile. Newport says, efforts to deepen your focus will struggle if you don't simultaneously wean your mind from a dependence on distraction. This section focuses on mental strategies for improving our ability to concentrate for extended periods of time. Newport advises, as a general rule, to schedule in advance when you'll use the internet, and then avoid it entirely outside of these times, rather than switching back and forth between distraction and work, lowering your ability to complete work. So, block distracting websites and apps for a set period of time. Simply put, set your default to offline. Here are some tips that have helped me improve focus and learn quicker. 1. Rather than spending your entire day staring at your inbox, schedule time to respond to emails. 2. If you find yourself stuck and need to check something online, resist the urge and continue deep work or switch to another offline activity. 3. Even if you're at home, set aside time to spend online and be alone with your thoughts. You've learned the fundamentals of deep work. It's time to focus on deepening your practice and maximizing the benefits of deep work by conditioning your mind. Concentration isn't always easy to come by. To develop this skill, you must practice it over time. This wraps up the summary from the book, Deep Work by Cal Newport. Thank you for sticking it out through the very end of this video. Nothing helps out my channel more than y'all watching the entire video. These videos take a long time to make and is a labor of love. If you would like to contribute by buying me a cup of coffee, I'll leave the link below along with the link to this book. And as always, if you liked this video, please like and subscribe and watch these videos that might pique your interest. I'll see you on the next one. Until then, keep reading.